The New England Patriots just got a wave of good offensive line news. Let's talk about it. My name is Aaron on the daily Patriots content, so don't miss out. All you got to do, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, hit the like button, and if you do, you know you are cool. For some reason, every time I think you are cool, you're only cool if you pee your pants. Name that movie, comment below off the bat. If you did, you're an OG if you got it right. Anyways, beside the point, we are talking offensive line today. Specifically, we're talking about the number 4 overall pick, Will Campbell, and we'll be talking about other things on the offensive line. So don't worry. Let's buckle up. Let's roll. So Will Campbell, living up to his expectations so far through OTAs, through mandatory minicamp, proving people wrong that he can play left tackle, going up against the likes of Keon White, Harold Landry, and then also those interior defensive linemen such as Barmore or Milton Williams. Listen, the man can hold his own. He is going to be fine. Still a lot of skeptics saying, listen, but what about his arm length? What about his arm length? Again, if this organization was truly that concerned about his arm length, he wouldn't have got taken 4th overall. Okay. Again, you see the man get drafted. You see how he reacted. You see what he said to the fan base, to the organization. Man's in tears saying he's going to die on that field. That is the guy you want. That is the guy we want at protecting Drake May. It's as simple as that. So good news coming from OTAs, obviously done, but through mandatory minicamp into training camp, that this has been resolved. Now, what's interesting in the bulk of the conversation I really want to talk about the offensive line is first and foremost, Wes Schweitzer, who came from the Jets, was picked up on a 1-year deal, has retired from the NFL. Now, you might be saying, Aaron, how in the world is this good news? Now, I'm going to say off the bat, not ideal news. I did not expect him to start, but for a depth piece, it's not bad. But we know playing in the NFL, I believe he played for 8 years. It's a grind. It is a lot. He played 90 games in his career. I get he wants to retire. But I'm going to go out on a limb and say, if he's retiring, chances are he wasn't going to get the starting job. Meaning Cole Strange, and I think a lot of people would say, a lot of people projected to have Cole Strange as that starting left guard. So that is a huge possibility. But another reason I think it is good, because it gives one of these younger guys that has a lot of potential on this offensive line as a depth piece to step in and fill this role. Now, last year, one of the big names was Ben Brown. Now, right now, he's kind of slotted as that 3rd string center, but again, he can play center, he can play guard. He was one of the few pickups by Elliott Wolf, by this franchise in the Gerard Mayo era that somewhat panned out and helped this team. As well, we can't forget Jared Wilson. Jared Wilson, though I don't think he's their long-term position for him is guard. I think it is center. I think he will take over at some point from Bradbury. But again, another opportunity for him to get some snaps. The interesting piece that a lot of people aren't talking about is Jack Conley. Now, Jack Conley was an undrafted free agent out of, you guessed it, Boston College. The man is a giant. He's 6'7", well over 300 pounds, and he is a beast. Now, again, I'm not saying this man's going to go out there and make the team, but I think there are some viable options behind Cole Strange that can also come in. So I think when people are saying, well, the depth. Yes, Schweitzer has started a lot of games in the NFL. Yes, he does have a lot of experience. But if his heart's not there, and he doesn't want to do it, that's not going to help us. All right. So again, the potential of one of these younger players potentially stepping up eventually or being that depth piece, hopefully Cole Strange does not get hurt. But again, there are still measures in place where we have some guys that can hopefully perform at a high level. Again, technically you have City So, technically you have Layden Robinson that also have experience. You have Tyrese Robinson, who's just picked up not too long ago. But again, there are pieces in place. I think last year we have to remember it was such a debacle and such a bleep show, that they're picking up people off the practice squads and saying, listen, you are starting on this offensive line. Let's roll. Again, I'm not saying Schweitzer leaving is necessarily a good thing. But what I am saying is I truly believe that he saw the writing on the wall. Cole Strange is going to get the job. And then it just gives more opportunity for these depth pieces, these other guys to potentially get their opportunity or step up into that second string role. Again, don't be surprised if Jared Wilson out of Georgia, the top center in this past draft that the Patriots, in my opinion, stole in this draft. Don't be surprised if he gets that starting opportunity at center this year. Again, I hope for the best in Cole Strange. I'm never going to wish anyone to get hurt, obviously. But in his track record, we need someone else to be in there to step in. Again, you have Ben Brown that has that potential. Jack Conley, again, we'll see what happens with him as we go into training camp, especially as an undrafted free agent. But is that another potential undrafted free agent that can make this team because of this move? And there also is possibly writing on the wall where it's like, hey, maybe it was he saw these younger guys and realized, listen, one, if he's retiring, I don't have it anymore. But two, it's maybe the Patriots organization saying like, listen, I don't know. Moving forward, I don't know if we're going to go this direction. Though I think that one is a stretch, and I think you guys would agree. But again, I see this all as good news for the Patriots. Will Campbell doing well, doing what we're supposed to, going up against top-tier talent on that defensive line. Great. And then the opportunity for, hey, we are going to solidify this left guard spot for Cole Strange. That is going to be the guy. And then we're going to move up one of these younger guys, one of these other guys, potentially to fill that second string role and potentially get more of those important reps as we go into practice, into training camp, and all these other things. So again, I think that is big. From an offensive line that was one of the worst, I have a buddy who's a Bears fan who argues to the death, he will die on this hill, that the Bears had a worse offensive line last year. And if you remember the Patriots Bears game, you would probably, they were rough. They were bad. They were really, really bad. But that being said, from what we had last year to this year, world better spot. Worlds better. So expect a lot of great things out of this offensive line. And hopefully we see some of those younger guys, not because of injury, but because like a Jared Wilson step into that center role, and he can be that center of the future as well. That Cole Strange can prove, hey, I was worth a first round pick, and I can play some freaking football. So again, comment below. Tell me what you think. Would love to hear it on the offensive line. Next up, Tom Brady. Tom Brady Day was yesterday. Oh, my fault. Tom Brady Day was yesterday. 6-12. TB12 day, won 6 Super Bowls, number 12, pretty obvious. You look at there's being a statue revealed of him. Going to be during the Washington preseason game, August 8th. And here's just a really cool quote by Robert Kraft. He said, "This will stand alone in the plaza outside the Hall of Fame to symbolize his position, not as the greatest in franchise history, but as the greatest in all of NFL history." Really cool. Very awesome quote. Really awesome quote by Robert Kraft. But again, obviously, Tom Brady well deserving of this. So anyways, tell me what you guys think. I know it's June. A lot of time there's not a lot of crazy football news, things happening, rumors, all this stuff. But again, things are only looking up for the Patriots. What the heck do you think? Comment below. We'll talk later. Enjoy the day. Peace.